This NASCAR Cup Series Championship 2025 Betting Picks edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACESGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome in to another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez, and welcome one and all to Championship Weekend. But before we get out, I just want to do this real quick. Welcome. Hey, guys. Welcome to Championship Weekend.
Love it.
Woo, we are right now, well, not right this second. We're going to crown a champion this week in all three series, Cody, which means all three races have championship consequences. Man, so exciting.
We're here. It's exciting. I'm super pumped. This is going to be great. I think that we are set up for possibly the best Final Four we've had in a while. And we've had some really close races. We've had some 1, 2, 3, 4 finishes. We'll talk about stuff like that as we get into it. But I think you've got 4 of the best drivers, 4 top-tier guys, 4 of the best cars that there is. And I don't think that there is one that you can point to and say, this guy is the absolute must-be favorite. I think you could make an argument for probably all of them to be the favorite in this. And I think you can definitely make an argument for any of the 4 to be crowned as the champion. And it's not so much of a, oh, well, if something goes wrong for this guy or that guy, like any 4 of these guys could come out and dominate this race. Any 4 could steal it at the end. I think we're in for possibly the best Final Four in the Cup Series that we've maybe had, and might be the last one in the one race format, because likely that's going to be changed beginning next year. But I think we've got a good one to go out on.
Well, and we just went out on a really good race, too. Martinsville provided us with, I know there are still some that go, oh, sure, William Byron just came out and it's so boring. But there was so much going on in that race. It wasn't just William Byron going out and dominating. It was, can William Byron get back out there and dominate again?
Well, yeah, and then at the end, I mean, him making that move on Blaney and timing it perfectly and making it clean. I mean, it was, you know, he had to get dirty to do it, but it was a clean move. That was fair game. He didn't wreck him to do it, but Blaney still had his chances. Like it was an exciting race. It was a very good race. And not for my bets so much, but you know, whatever, shit happens. But no, I thought it was a great race to set us up for what should be a really, really good championship race. I'm very much looking forward to this one this weekend.
You put your eggs in Briscoe's basket, he just slammed it on the ground and made just omelets all over the cement for you.
Way too much Briscoe last week, but
yeah.
That's okay.
That's all right. Well, I mean, again, it should have panned out the way it did, but boy, he just had snake bitten from the very beginning.
And see, this is to my point. How is Byron not the clear favorite? Well, see, that's what I'm saying, is you can make an argument for at least 3 of the guys to be pretty much the favorite. For whatever reason, Briscoe's still getting disrespected, but I think you can make an argument for him to be the favorite too. But yeah, I think we're in for a very, very good championship race.
Christopher Bell notwithstanding, it is very difficult to win back-to-back races in the series, right? It's just so difficult. And obviously Marcus is definitely here to tell us hi, and that he does predict Christopher Bell is going to play spoiler, regardless of not being in the championship 4.
We need the real pick though, Marcus. You picked Christopher Bell for everything all year, but who's going to be the champion? You got to pick somebody else now. Who's it going to be, Marcus? we're all waiting eagerly to find out your answer.
Indeed, the expert suck saying very conflicted on who to root for since Blaney's not in the Final Four. Our picks this week will be very on brand. Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, that's not going to stop me though from bringing up Blaney's name, because if there's a level of revenge that you want to get after, having a very clear shot at getting in and not, Blaney's got that level of revenge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, that's one of the fun things about this sport and about this race in particular, right? Is yes, the championship four, and that's going to be heavy on the topic of today's show, but the other guys are all still racing in this. So there is still guys who, like a Ross Chastain did a couple years ago, that can upset the apple cart and win this race. So I think that makes it pretty exciting.
Hell, I'll talk about one of those guys in just a second. But before, this is the most exciting time in all of sports, because not just NASCAR wrapping up its season, but the NFL, NBA, MLB, college football, NHL, it's all live. And guess what? The SGPN's got podcasts giving out free picks for everything. Subscribe to the SGPN feed to catch every episode wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, Cody, so we move to the Phoenix Raceway in, what's it?
Oh, look at that. Hold on.
What do we got?
Quick. We got an official pick. Marcus is taking Denny Hamlin. Marcus has picked Denny Hamlin. I'd like the record to reflect. So, yeah, Denny Hamlin is going to be his champion. And we want to know everybody. Picks are starting to get put in here, so we'll read through those in a minute. But, yeah, give us your pick. Who do you think is going to win the championship, whether you're listening live now or if you're listening later? Comment on Spotify, comment on the YouTube after the fact. We want to see who everybody thinks is going to win. Betting aside, you could do that as well. Who do you think is going to win the championship?
Surprise, surprise! It's a JGR teammate in Denny Hamlin that gets picked. I get where we're going.
Either way, there was two of them.
That's true.
You figured it's probably going to be one of them.
That is true. All right. Yes, we are at Phoenix, at the Phoenix Raceway in Avondale, Arizona for this race, as it's been. Obviously, it may not be that way for a little while again, right? We're trying to switch around where the championship race gets played, much like the Super Bowl. So wouldn't that be crazy?
The final race next year will be back at Homestead, which it was up until from 2003 to 2019. That's the last race of the year will be there next year. Likely that it will be in a different format, whether that's 36 races or whether that's a chase of 10 races or some other form of playoffs. We'll talk about that obviously in the off season, which, by the way, real quick before we get into it, make sure you stick with us. I know a lot of podcasts, the season ends and that's it. They're done. You don't see them anymore, but we're planning to be around. There's 3 more F1 races, Rod. So we're going to dust off the old F1 gambling podcast microphones, talk about those, and plenty. We were having a conversation earlier, and there is so much to talk about this offseason. It's not going to be boring in any way, shape, or form.
No, because silly season has begun already, so there's already driver moves to talk about in the offseason. I'm sure there's more. The lawsuit will probably keep us going for quite a long time as there's news scraping out about that one. I think there's a ceasefire now amongst the NASCAR and 2311 camps that we can definitely discuss later as far as who blinks first in that instance, but yeah. There's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on, no doubt about it.
All right. Well, let's see. We've got a ton of folks in the chat right now, and we will get to everybody sooner rather than later. Just want to say hello to Jess real quick. And then, why are the books late getting odds out? Well, they're actually early
very much
this
the
time.
Opposite. Yeah. I mean, I had most of my picks in the dock last night, which is almost unheard of for a Monday. I mean, everything is out from what I can tell. I mean, Bet365 has a full slate. They did last night. ESPN's got everything. Fanatics had a full slate last night. Caesars is all up. I don't know which book. I mean, that's the thing is like sometimes places like FanDuel's so weird because some weeks, Tuesday, they've got everything. Some weeks they don't have everything until Friday. It's so weird over there. But a lot of the books in a general sense are up, and actually we're up early. So, yeah, not been an issue that I've seen.
Nope. I was like, I had enough to pick for this show, which is, like you said, sometimes Tuesday morning we're wondering to ourselves, are we going to have enough? But all right, Championship 4 is set. Let's preview this as we get into it. It is, of course, Denny Hamlin, who locked himself in last year. And then there's Chase Briscoe, who followed him right afterwards. And then, of course, there's Kyle Larson, who's been in. And then William Byron locked himself in last week with that win. That's Championship 4. These are the guys that are going to be going out and trying to run for the championship. Obviously, you don't have to win to be the champion. You got to be the best finisher out of all 4 of those. But, of course, a win definitely locks you into that. And it's crazy.
There's only been one in this format. So in the one race Final Four format, there's only been one time. That was 2 years ago in 2023. Ross Chastain won the race. Ryan Blaney finished second and was the champion. Every other year you've had to win to be the champion. We'll talk about that as we get into it further. I think you're going to have to win this one to be the champion as well. But yeah, just to, for newer people, I know, like the Expert Suckers in the chat, they're newer to NASCAR this year and whatnot. It's very simple. Points don't matter anymore. Nothing matters but finishing position in this race. They'll still have the stage breaks like normal. They still pay out points actually for 5th through the rest of the field because all those positions are still being decided, and that matters for charter money and points payout and all that kinds of fun stuff. But for these 4, the order that these 4 finish, or it's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 35th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, then that's how they'll finish in the standings. And the best finisher is your champion. And of course, it's still a full field with, I think we have 38 cars this week. So pretty simple. Go out and beat the other 3 and you're the champion.
And I'll tell you right now, this track and this race does not lend itself to a ton of chaos. There's not a lot of cautions that we've seen over the course of the last few years, especially in the championship race, right? You got the 2 built-in cautions, but by and large, there's been like 4 or 5 cautions altogether, so only 1 or 2 for cause. And
mano, bring your best shit, Rob.
That is too, right? There's no bailing you out with a late caution.
And something else that's different about this week in particular too is it's a full weekend old school style, right? So we have practice, which is 1 practice, so not completely old school where they had 15 practices, but 1 practice on Friday. So earlier in the week, you get a practice on Friday. It's a longer practice. I think it's a 60-minute session. I think all the cars are in or whatever. You can go tune. You can do whatever you want to. Then you have all night to make changes, overhaul the car, do whatever you want. They won't qualify until Saturday, almost 24 hours later. And then, of course, they'll race on Sunday. I believe that they're allowed to make changes after qualifying, too. So, obviously some guys like Denny Hamlin have got a big head start on what maybe they can try and whatnot. And then you'll be allowed to make the changes and stuff over the course of these few days. So, also for betting purposes, right, if you want to get in on the action before they get on track, it's going to be Friday, 4:35 Central Time, it looks like, for the practice. So, get your pre-practice bets in then, and then, of course, that'll change it. We'll probably repost after practice, and they'll probably repost after qualifying again. So a full weekend of opportunities and being able to price shop and all that fun stuff.
Well, and thank God that Denny had all of that time to prepare for Phoenix, because if he was trying to get his way in last week, he would have definitely fell on hard times after that engine expired. And we'll talk about all of that in a second too, because that was some scary stuff for JGR. I can't get it out today.
Yeah, absolutely. Should we, do you want to preview these 4 real quick, Rod? Just a quick run over them, I guess.
Well, let's do that, but let's get into all of that real quick after we do this, because I want to spend plenty of time talking about everything we need to talk about. So let me tell you about my friends over at MyBookie. We're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on football and everything else. Plus, their prop builder is second to none. Their motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime, easy deposit, lightning fast payouts using cryptocurrency. Let me take you to the Modus series. It is the darts. We have Danny Van Tripe taking on Jeffrey DeZawan. Look at Danny is actually plus 191 to win that match. And then later on, he's actually taking on Tomoya Goto, and he is minus 161 to win that one. Kid's on a roll. I definitely love me some Van Tripe, so give me Danny Van Tripe to win his matches. You can take any one of these guys. I don't care. There's a ton of matches that he's in. He's probably going to win them all because he's on a roll. You could do that by heading over to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Novig, you're getting the best prices out there. Novig is available in 35 plus states. Download that Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. Let's get down to brass tacks, where we set up this 2025 Cup Series Championship race. We are set for 312 laps around this 1 mile paved track at the Phoenix Raceway in Avondale, Arizona, for 312 championship crowning miles. Cody, doesn't get any better than this.
Before we get into that, the Expert Suck did just notice you're wearing your Blues Clues shirt, Rod. It's not even Halloween yet. We did have the spooky music at the beginning of the show, but nice to see you dressed as Steve from Blues Clues or whoever. I think we had an argument about it not being Steve, but Steve's the only Blues Clues guy I recognize.
Well, and I did play the Blues Clues intro music on the way in as well.
You did.
Expert Suck does want to know that does want to say he fully will admit my Larson over Bell head-to-head was correct. Cost us our head-to-head parlay because we hit the other two. I'm sorry that I was right because I know you fade us, and my bad.
Yes. All right. Let's catch up on the comments. Then we'll finish setting all this up. Let's see. Justin's rooting for Byron and Briscoe. I know he's got futures on both of them, including Byron 19-1 from this past weekend. Andrew is crowning Chase Briscoe as the champion. Let's see. Wreck-It Ross just has the watermelon. He thinks that maybe Chastain plays spoiler. Hunter checking in, says, what's up, fellas? Thanks for all the insight this year. Made a killing, up so many units in NASCAR this season. Love to hear that. Old Fitted Jones checking in. Says Denny is going to be the one. Let's see. Hunter will make another grand if Briscoe wins the championship. So you love that. Slow Roll wants to know if I'm on Captain Shook this week. I'll let you guys. We'll wait and see what happens. JDK calling that Byron wins the championship. Gibbs wins the race after wrecking his corporate teammate.
Love that.
Drew has got a 30-1 ticket on Byron. Hell yeah, that's exciting, and that gives you opportunity to get in on other guys as well. So love to see that. And just Xfinity and trucks too. They will have full sessions. We'll talk about that. We're doing a full show for each of them. Hopefully trucks tomorrow since their practice is on Thursday, assuming they get some odds out for us. But we'll have full show for Truck Series in the championship, full show for Xfinity in the championship, and a DFS show this week. So love it. All right, Rod, let's set this thing up. I think you already gave out all the good deets. There's 38 cars entered for this one. Your normal 36, JJ Yaley in the 44, and Casey Mears in the 66 car. Round out the field. As we said, between these four drivers, best finisher is the Cup Series champion for 2025. That's all you have to do is go beat the other four. Chase Briscoe is number one. He's the number one seed. Not that the seeding means anything, but they seed him nonetheless. He is the number one seed. Obviously, it's been a hell of a season for him coming over from SHR. Slow start to the season. Who could have saw that coming? But once he's figured it out, 3 wins down the stretch. Had a great season. His playoffs have been amazing. Opens up with the Southern 500 winner. Wins multiple playoff races. Has a great playoff run. Gets locked in here via his win 2 weeks ago at Talladega, of course. Denny Hamlin, his teammate. Those are the two Joe Gibbs Racing cars. Obviously, 60 wins now. 3 Daytona 500s. The only thing missing for Denny Hamlin on his resume is that championship. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, whether he wins one or whether he doesn't. He seems to be in a different mindset this year. All the stuff going on with his dad, new dad once again. Are the stars aligning? Is it finally time for Denny, or does he play the role of the Buffalo Bills once again and choke it away in the championship? Who knows? We'll see. William Byron, young guy. He's not that young though, as they talked about on the broadcast. He's been around for a while now, right? Coming off the win last week at Martinsville. So Denny Hamlin from 3 weeks ago has all the practice ahead of time, getting things ready. Byron's got the momentum now off a great run last week, dominating performance at a short flat track. You'd love to see that for him. Regular season champion, so very deserving of getting here. And then Captain Shook, he made it, Rod. Kyle Larson. He's the greatest race car driver in the world, according to some. I've been some at points. Yeah, it's been rough. It's so funny because it's been rough for him, but it's not. Like, he's still been performing well. He's just not been performing to the level you expect of him, and that's what makes it funny to poke fun at. And he's not been running horrible, obviously. He's made it to the championship 4, but to the level you expect from him, not been there. So, like I said before, 4 very deserving guys, 4 of the best in the sport right now. The 2 best teams clearly throughout the entire season. Joe Gibbs Racing, they get 2 cars. Hendrick Motorsports, they get 2 cars. I think that's very fitting. And I think that whoever comes out as the champion at the end of the day, is going to be well deserving. Obviously, Larson, the only one who has a championship of this group, and Briscoe, the one who's making his first Final Four appearance.
I know that everybody in the JGR camp and the Hendrick camp are just glad that there is not a Penske car in that championship 4, because that is the one they all feared.
Honestly, I think everybody is glad for that, because obviously Penske fans are not glad, and if you had money on them, but if Ryan Blaney or Joey Logano was in this race, they would be the heavy favorite and should be the heavy favorite to win it because of their performance. They've won the championship 3 years in a row in this format on this track. They've been 1-2 almost. Actually, I think 1-2 or 2-3 in the 1 year that Ross won in all 3 of those years. So it's been dominating for them. And so, yeah, as Justin points out, kind of same thing with Christopher Bell. Like he's been pretty dominant at this track type. So I think not having those 3 guys in here is what makes it such a level playing field, where I don't think any one of these guys has as true of a just this guy should be the best here advantage. And I think that's what puts us in for a great race.
I concur. And we will get to these bets. Let's say hello to Laura first. She's in now. I don't know where she was before, but hi, welcome in, Laura. It's good to see you.
We're glad to see you.
All right. Well then, Cody, I think it is time to start loading up our betting card for this final race of the 2025 season. We have made it to the end, but that does not stop the betting from coming to you fast and furious.
Absolutely. So we're going to start with 2 non-playoff guys. I'm going to take a head-to-head that I found over on Bet365. You can get the Watermelon Man, Ross Chastain. Already been some talk about him in the chat. Going to take him over Tyler Reddick, plus 130. A bit shocking to me you're getting Chastain at this type of number. Plus 130, I think, is a great number for him. Tyler Reddick did not make the Final Four. Last year when he made the championship 4, he finished 6th place here for a great run. Outside of that, he's been not good here in the fall race. Tends to be a guy that I've referenced before. He's ready for a vacation, right? Once we get to this race, if he's not racing for anything, he's not racing for anything. 22nd, 23rd in the other 2 Phoenix fall races where he wasn't in the championship 4, did not finish well here. On top of that, they've had everything going on with their baby, right? And things seem to have taken a turn for the better. I believe the baby's rookie is home now, which is great. You love to see that. But that's obviously a distraction at home. He's got those things going on. You've got all this lawsuit stuff. Does he have a ride next year? Now, not that he won't have a ride when the year comes around, right? Because a lot of people will be shoving drivers out of seats to get him in their car. But, he still has to worry about, is that ride going to be in the 45? Does he have to come up with all these distractions, all this other stuff. And Ross Chastain, on the other hand, has been really good in this race in particular and really good at Phoenix just in general. So you go back over, we have 7 starts here in the next gen era for both of these guys. And Ross Chastain has a 9.4 average finish, Tyler Reddick 12.4. So Chastain better in the average finish column. If you take out the championship race last year, because Reddick was in it, and as I'm going to point out here in a few, the championship 4 just performed better in this race. So I'm dropping that one. Chastain finished 19th. You'd like to have obviously had a better finish, but we're dropping that one. The other 5 of the other 6 have all gone Chastain's way. So you love to see that. So 5 of 7 overall, but 5 of the 6 without that championship 4 race. In the spring here, 11th for Chastain, 20th for Reddick. Then in the spring of 2024, 6th place for Chastain, 10th place for Reddick. Chastain won here in the fall of 23, 22nd for Reddick. Spring of 23 is the one where Reddick got him. He finished 3rd and Chastain was in 24th. But then 3rd and 2nd in the 2022 races for Chastain to 23rd and 3rd for Tyler Reddick. So the better side for Chastain in those. So give me Ross Chastain over Tyler Reddick plus 130. Reddick, a guy that I'm just looking to fade this week between being a guy that seems to check out when he's out of it and all these other distractions, things going on. I think he's just probably not going to be in the headspace of full Tyler Reddick capabilities this week, I guess. So we're going to roll with that. Then I think, and I've already alluded to a few times, but I think the championship 4 are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 in this race. I think you're going to throw a blanket over them. I think they're all going to be right there. And I think that 1, 2, 3, 4 order could be any number of ways. So if you can find 2 of these guys matched up where one guy's plus money at a decent side, okay, I like that, right? You're going to just lean towards taking that anyways. I've also been against Captain Shook here lately, so we're not going to change things that have been working, Rod, and we're going to bet against him once again. ESPN has Chase Briscoe plus 125 over Kyle Larson. The main argument here is these guys are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you've got 4 guys that are going to be that close together, and I can get one over another at plus 125, I don't really care which combination it is. Give me the plus 125. So I'll take Briscoe over Larson for that reason. But then also, if you go back and you look, Briscoe's made the 7 starts here as Larson has, and Larson's average finish is 10.1. Briscoe, though, 6 of those starts were for SHR. Obviously, we know they're not been the greatest of companies. No longer exists so much that they were not that great. But then, in the spring here, a really bad finish. He wrecked out of the race. That was still early in the season, right? This was first 5 races of the season. Still getting used to SHR, all that stuff. So, or to JGR cars, all that stuff. So not overly worried about that. But then you look at the other races. 9th place here in March of 24, 7th place in March of 23, 4th place in November of 22 race. He won here in March of 22. Larson's been great at this track as well. 3rd, 4th. He had a 14th toss in there, but then 3rd, 4th, 9th, 3rd, or 34th rather in the first start here. He did wreck out of that one. But so they've both been good here. You're not going to look too much at one or the other. As I mentioned earlier, Larson's been really good down the stretch here. It's not just been, the dominant Larson we'd seen before. And since Kansas, things have gone in Briscoe's favor. 3 wins for Chase Briscoe since that Kansas race where Larson dominated and won. What else happened that next weekend? Was that? Oh, that's right. The Indy 500 or 2 weekends after that. But Larson's not been the same, right? The thumbs up, not been the same since. Go over to the Discord and Preston will remind you what changed that. But so 3 wins to 0 for Briscoe, 10 top 5s to 6 for Larson. So it's still, again, I'm not just dogging on Larson, right? He's shown up, and I think he's going to be a top 4 car this week. Don't get that misconstrued, right? 13 top 10s to 12, so they've been really close there. You look at the short flat tracks, neither of them have been great on any of the ones we've run lately. But Briscoe did finish 2nd, led 81 laps at Iowa. That kind of stands out, whereas Larson was 28th in that race. 10th to 7th in New Hampshire, not overly looking at one side or the other. Again, 2 championship 4 guys matched up against each other. You're giving me one at plus 125. The guy I've been on a lot lately. He's been making us a lot of money. I'm not overly worried about the mechanical failures last week. I don't know what happened. I don't care what happened. They're going to be fine this week. Give me Briscoe over Larson plus 125 on ESPN.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. I have different thoughts on this one. And then, of course, the Chastain over Reddick one, I definitely like that one. And of course, we're talking – Jesus Christ, Wreck-It Russ. Can't spell Kyle Larson without using the letters in loser. Look, you know what? I'm going to talk about him in a second. I didn't
even go that far.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'll talk about him in a second. I feel like that's a little bit overboard. But I'm with you on the Chastain over Reddick one because, again, that's Trackhouse hopefully be better in the early, longer practice, actually dialing in their car. That really sends a lot of these guys over the edge being able to practice because taking away the practices, you've heard them complain about it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big key in a lot of these bets as we get a little farther on. Stuart Freak 2 checking in. I wonder who Stuart Freak 1 is. Maybe his spouse. Who knows? But glad to see. I don't think we've seen you in the chat before, so love to see it. He's got Blaney winning this race. Big Chastain fan, though. Would love to see him.
Well, see, there you go. That would be fun to watch that as well. And if he wins, then he definitely beats Reddick on this one. All right. This is the last time of the season that I get a chance to do this, and I'm going to do it. So I'm going to take Austin Cindric. This is a matchup over here on Caesars. I said I was never going to bring them up on the show again, but this is the last race of the season, so I'm just going to send him out with a nice little, just a nice little shove into the wall. Oh, wait, there's so many people that have done that with Carson Hocevar. Plus 100 for Austin Cindric over Carson Hocevar. The dude is not making any friends whatsoever. I know they don't say they don't care. They're not there to make friends.
Everybody got even last week, Rod.
Oh,
they all wrecked him.
It feels like they all got even, but I still think that there's a lot of folks out there that don't really appreciate the way that 77 car is running, not up to and including his future teammate, Daniel Suarez, where, again, this is not how you make friends in the garage by sending your damn future teammate into the wall. But this is just simple. It's simple because over the last couple of races, Austin Cindric has beaten Carson Hocevar head-to-head in this one. A 19th place finish for him in the spring, where Carson Hocevar finished a gentleman's 36th. In the fall of the 2024 season, Austin Cindric finished in 13th. Carson Hocevar ended up finishing in 18th. And then, it's another two for Carson Hocevar, where he did finish 15th and 19th, where Cindric finished 36th and 35th. But the last two races, he's 2 for 2 in beating Carson Hocevar. And look, this season, it's not been great for either driver. Cindric has had his stretch of great runs. His average finish this year is 20.5. He has got 5 top 10 finishes, 2 top 5s in that win, in that awesome win column. For Carson Hocevar, 9 top 10s, but his average finish is 21.4. And really, over the last 5 races, 29th at Kansas, 29th at the Roval, 32nd at Las Vegas. He got a 6th at Talladega. Woohoo! Throw a party, everybody. But then turned around and got 31st in Martinsville. That's probably how many times he got hit, was 31 times in that race, spinning everybody. Everybody on the radio saying, what the hell is the 77 doing? Why can't the 77 drive at all? My answer to you,
were any of those his fault? I'm pretty sure he got spun on.
Oh, I don't want to hear it. Yes, there were several that were his fault. And the reason that he got spun in most of them was because he was causing all of that. He was pushing 3 wide when you didn't even... don't get me on it. Anyways, this is my last opportunity to take a shot at him on his way out. And I'm going to, just like a lot of people are this week on this race, Austin Cindric, like I said, just take him and run with it. He does have a win this season. Martinsville, he finished 15th. Bad finish at Talladega, but 11th at Las Vegas. And 30th at Kansas. That was sucking, but whatever. This is my last chance to take it. I'm going to take it.
Yeah, there will be no shots taken at the 2026 NASCAR Cup Series champion Carson Hocevar.
Oh, my God, I'm gone.
I'm going to have that feature bet just so we can talk about it all season and force Rod to have to listen to it. So, yeah.
Sorry, I had to go out and, freshen myself because that was
fresh air.
That was terrible. Yeah. Anyways, Austin Cindric, Carson Hocevar. Give me Austin Cindric plus 100.
Yeah, whatever.
It's fine.
I have no opinion on that one.
That's fine. That's fine. Like I said, just the last chance I get to take a shot at him before we go to off season. But all right,
I like it.
We'll continue down the betting card, but allow me to tell you about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is your home for pick'em entries where you can win up to 5,000 times your money. If you want to stay up late and you want to watch yourself some Korean baseball, how about taking Sim Woo-jun higher than a half of a total base? He is playing for the Hanwha Eagles, taking on LG. Oh, I love me some LG. I watched them play the Lotte Giants. It was fantastic. But yes, so Sim Woo-jun taking on the LG team over there with the Hanwha Eagles. Take him for a half of a base, higher than in the Underdog world. If you want to stay up, I'm telling you, it's late. It's 2:30 a.m. Pacific, so probably about, 5:30 a.m. So wake up early, watch yourself some Korean baseball, get yourself a win on Underdog. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACE, SGPN. Rhythm, it's crushing it in college football, NFL, and now just added the NBA. Rhythm is also giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, and you could win $1,000. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off of your first month. Download Rhythm and use promo code SGPN25.
Rod, hit the breaking news music. Sam Mayer.
Oh,
just into the newsroom. Sam Mayer has been suspended by NASCAR for the race at Phoenix. We'll dive deeper into that on the Xfinity Series show when we break down all that and stuff. But probably a deserved suspension for his post-race antics there. We'll definitely talk about that more. But yeah, Sam Mayer has been suspended for this weekend.
Woof, that's going to be a spicy topic tomorrow when we talk about that, or Wednesday, I guess, when we talk about the Xfinity Series.
Or Thursday, because tomorrow is Wednesday, but who knows?
What day is today?
It is first show of the week, so yeah, it feels like a Monday.
I will say that that when we first jumped onto this, I was digging through the KBO stats, and I told Cody, I said, "Well, hang on a second, I'm trying to look up Sim Woo Jun and his stats," and I mean, it was just like stunned silence in Cody's trying to digest the fact that I'm following another just random ass sport.
It's great. All right, Rod. Next up on the betting card, if you go over to Fanatics, they still have this. Denny Hamlin, top 5, minus 130, minus 150, minus 160 on some books. So I'd get in on this sooner rather than later. But I love Denny Hamlin to finish in the top 5, minus 130. And then I'm also going to take Chase Briscoe to finish in the top 5 at plus 125. Look, I said it already. I think that the championship 4 are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Might be surprising to you. I'm leaning towards the Toyota drivers in this because, I mean, really, it's kind of on brand for me. And it's so funny because I grew up a Bill Elliott fan, Ford kid, right? And then it went to Casey Kane, so it was like Dodge. And then he went to Chevy with Hendrick, and my family kind of always liked Hendrick drivers. So I'm a Chase Elliott fan now, like he's my favorite driver, right? But for whatever reason in the betting world, I love betting on the Toyotas. So going to continue to do so. Denny Hamlin, though, 5th championship 4 appearance, first one in the next gen era. Might be a little bit surprising to some, but in his 5 or 4 previous championship 4 appearances, he's done pretty well in all of them. 2014 at Homestead, a 7th place finish. 2019 at Homestead, a 7th place finish, or 10th place finish rather. But 2020 then at Phoenix in the championship 4, he finished in 4th, and in 2021 he finished in 3rd place in the championship 4. So in the 2 championship 4 appearances at Phoenix, he's finished in the top 5, and the 2 at Homestead, he was in the top 10 as well. So you like that. In the spring here, 2nd place finish to teammate Christopher Bell at this track. So you like to see that. Track record here, not been super great in the next gen era. 11th, 8th, 23rd, a 13th, another 8th in there. So good, but not great. But being in the championship 4 makes a huge difference. We've seen that time and time again, so I'm going to lean into that. Did win at Gateway not too long ago, led 75 laps. That's a shorter, flatter track, actually pretty comparable to this track. He also won the Martinsville Spring Race. He led 275 laps in that one. I know it wasn't great last week, but he even admitted on his podcast he spent like an hour preparing for Martinsville. Obviously, they had some other trouble in that car because guess what he was doing? He's been preparing for 3 weeks for this race. He said he spent 45 minutes preparing for Talladega and an hour and a half, I think he said, preparing for Martinsville. That was it. Everything else has been on Phoenix. He's going to have time to work on his car, give feedback. He's got Chris Gale has been an amazing crew chief this year. You know, Gabe Hart is going to have his hand heavy in both of those cars this weekend. Love him this weekend. And doesn't have to win the championship for this. Just be in the top 5. And I think all 4 of these championship 4 guys, if there was 5, I think they'd all be in the top 5. But I think all 4 are going to be in the top 5. So going to take that. The Briscoe side of things, you're getting plus money. Always love to see that. Just talked about him a few minutes ago in the head-to-head, but been very good here, right? Not a great finish in the spring or last fall. Final, first race with JGR, fine. Final race with SHR, fine. But a 9th, a 7th, a 4th. He won here in 22, a 3rd place finish here as well. So he's been great down the stretch. Talked about him week in and week out. I think he's going to be in the top 5, just like I mentioned. So I'm going to take all of them. Then, Rod, I am going to do a championship 4 top 5 parlay. You put all 4 of those guys to finish in the top 5. I think that it's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4 finish for these guys. They're going to be up front the whole time. I think the only reason that won't happen is somebody has a mechanical problem. Obviously, that could happen. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a battle all day long between these 4 guys. So I wanted to look back and kind of see how that's played out over the years at Phoenix. So if you go back to last season, Joey Logano won. Ryan Blaney was 2nd. William Byron was 3rd. So 1, 2, 3 for those 3 guys. Tyler Reddick was 6th place, so just outside of the top 5. But again, looking at that, on the lesser team still, the less experienced team, not like this isn't, you're going to 2311 cars. This isn't a track house car. It's 2 JGR cars and 2 Hendrick cars. You're getting top of the top in this, and you get allowing a spot in there for a Ryan Blaney, a Christopher Bell, a Ross Chastain to sneak in there and steal one of those spots, right? So pretty close last year. 2023, second place for Ryan Blaney, third place for Kyle Larson, fourth place for William Byron. So 3 of the 4 in the top 5. Christopher Bell blew a brake rotor early in the race and had a DNF. Obviously, that would be the way I see this not cashing. 2022, first place for Logano, second place for Blaney. Then it was 10th place for Bell, and Chase Elliott had troubles on the day and finished in 28th. 2021, though, first for Larson, second for Truex, third for Hamlin, fifth for Chase Elliott. So 1, 2, 3, 5. They got it done in the top 5. In 2020, the first championship 4 race here, Chase Elliott wins the race, Brad Keselowski second, Joey Logano third, Denny Hamlin in fourth. So those 2 years it hit. 2022 is really off. 2023 was just missing the brake rotor failure. 2024 was just missing the 6th place guy, not finishing in 5th. If you want to do the safer side and play the top 10 in case you get a Reddick type of thing, in case maybe Blaney and Bell will sneak up in there or whatever, you get that at plus 208 for a top 10 parlay for all 4. I don't mind that. I don't mind playing both of them. But the top 5 at plus 996, I really like, because I think that you're going to be able to throw a blanket over these 4 championship drivers the entire race. And you don't have to worry about who finishes where, none of that stuff. You're just getting them all to finish in the top 5.
We talked about it last week, too, where all these playoff drivers, all 8 of them pretty much populate the top 10, if not every single time, if not, or at the very least, they do it most often. So, yeah, these championship 4 drivers, they're going to be racing for the win. They're going to try to win this race. And if they miss, they miss. But if they don't, then they usually land somewhere inside of the top 5. So I'm with you on that.
And this isn't, last week, the risk you're taking is Denny's already locked in and doesn't really have anything to race for. Briscoe's locked in. It doesn't really. So, but now it's just these 4 guys. This is it. Like, everything is on. This is literally the Super Bowl. Go out and beat the other team, or in this case, teams that you're playing against, and you are the champion. And it's for the best teams, for the best drivers. That's, again, you don't have that kind of wild card in here where, a Reddick, you could make a case just isn't as strong, and the team's not as strong, and the Chastains, and, you don't have that this year. It's for the top tier cars, for the top tier drivers. And I think that they're going to be the top 4 at the end of the day.
Completely agree, but I've been looking for action outside of the top 4 because a lot of the odds for the top 4 are not all that great. So I'm going to take a guy that's actually, if you look at the average finishing chart here, the heat chart that our friends at iFantasy Race put together, right? iFantasyRace.com. Ryan has done a fantastic job all season long providing us with stats to go off of, and this heat finishing chart, it's just the best that's out there. But if you look at the top, it's Ryan Blaney at the top of the finishes heat chart. William Byron follows that. Ross Chastain, 4th place overall in this heat chart. 9.6 average finish for Chris Buescher in the next gen era on this track. And he's not been a part of the championship 4 yet. He's still been able to put together top 5 finishes in 3 of the last 4 races on this track. Top 10 finishes in 4 out of the last 6 races rather on this track. So Christopher Buescher just running very well on this track in particular. And I mean, we all know how all season long, we've been talking top 10s with Buescher. We've been talking top 4s with Buescher. We've been talking all kinds of stuff with Buescher. And more often than not, it's been a little bit disappointing because he hasn't necessarily got us all the way where we wanted to be. But this track in particular, it doesn't really matter how his season's gone. He's just been that good on this track. So I like him to win Group C over on Caesars over guys that are struggling. Let's put it this way. Alex Bowman was a top 10 moneymaker for most of the last few years, rather. We've just been able to say Alex Bowman top 10, lock it in, and just don't look back, right? This year, not so much. He's been struggling off and on. He's obviously the weaker link of the Hendrick Motorsports team as of late. And so kind of fade him. And then on this track in general, 15th overall in average finish in the next gen era, 14th in 2022 in the spring, 34th in the fall, 9th in the spring of 2023, 17th in the fall, 20th in the spring of 2024, 14th in the fall. He did have a 7th place finish earlier this season. However, Chris Buescher got him with a 5th place finish in that one. In fact, in the spring, Chris Buescher would have won this group if they would have offered it to us in the spring. Also in this group, Ty Gibbs. That's it. And then his teammate, Brad Keselowski. Look, I get it. I get that, Ty Gibbs has done okay lately, but he's not finishing well, right? You get all excited and you get, oh my God, he's going to win. Nope, he's not, because he's Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs, average finish of 23.4 on this track, 25th in the spring. Great, outstanding run in the fall of 20. Oh no, wait, he got 40th. He got a third place finish in the spring of that year, but 21st and 28th, the two races before that. Not scared of Ty Gibbs. Brad Keselowski, 20.4 average finish on this track. Finishes of 23, 35, 18, 15, 4, 15, and 33 over the last next-gen races in this one. Look, Chris Buescher just runs well on this track. Really, that's all there is to it. And you can look back at all these other races that he's done well this season. This track, he does well. So Chris Buescher to win Group C. And then Richard Fulmer, 962 says, I was just going to say Buescher has run very well since in the 17. Absolutely has. And I'm going to back him to win Group C on Caesars at plus 275.
Let's hope for your sake that it's the Buescher of past Phoenixes that shows up and not this year's Buescher, because outside of Ty Gibbs, might be one of the most disappointing drivers for me in 2025. I don't want to spoil all the off-season content, Rod, but might have to have a conversation about biggest surprises and biggest disappointments, and I think the Buescher might make that list for me.
I think he will. All right, let's get into the top 10 market.
Let's do that. So, look, I think the top four is going to be chalky. I think that it's going to be a very, very top four, championship four driven race. But there's 6 other spots in the top 10. You're going to get drivers that check out, like a Tyler Reddick. He's not going to be the only one. There are drivers that will just check out, like, hey, the season's over. We're not really racing for anything else. Or it's been, Easter was the off week for the Cup Series. It's been 28, 29 races in a row, long time. People are ready to go home. So I don't mind a couple of long shot top 10s here. And we're going to hit some of the regulars. We're going to start with Zane Smith, top 10 at 10-1. You gave out last week his teammate Todd Gilliland to finish in the top 10 because he had done so in the spring. Well, it cashed for us. So I'm going to take a play out of your book and do the same thing, because Zane Smith finished 9th place here in the spring. He's also been very good down the stretch here. He was having that top 10 run at Kansas before ending up on his side in the wall and all that crazy wreck, right? But 3rd place at Bristol, 13th at Darlington, 11th place at Richmond. So he's had some good runs down the stretch, and including Richmond, a shorter, flatter track. You like to see that. That's really about all I have. Is he's been a guy that flirted with the top 10 all year, and he's been a guy that we're going to ride one more time to be the top 10 this week. He did it in the spring. That's good enough for me. Then back on the SVG wagon once again, 16-1 for SVG. Hey, what can I say? We gave this out last week and it almost cashed. He finished in 14th place. Again, a great run by SVG. And if you look back, talk about great runs down the stretch. He's been in the top 14 in 4 races in a row, not on the finishing board, but in my mind, he's been top 14 because finished 14th at Martinsville, 11th at Talladega. He was running top 10 at Las Vegas all day long before late troubles got caught up in some chaos there and ended up with a bad finish. But he won at the Roval. He was 10th at Kansas. He was 14th at Richmond. Again, shorter, flatter track, looking back a little bit. 6th and 12th in the Xfinity Series last year at the 2 races on this track. Wasn't a good finish here in the spring, but that was the 3rd, 4th race of the season. You're early on. He's still a rookie, all that stuff. Much, much improved over that. We've talked about it, right? And it's going to be real interesting going into next year, because if he's starting to run top 10, top 15 every week and getting 5-6 wins on road courses, that could definitely cause some danger. So, and I think he's, what is he, like 12th in the standings right now or something? Like he's still racing for a decent finish ahead of some other playoff guys there. So SVG at 16-1 for a top 10. And that's not a guy that has any, he's not looking forward to Cabo or going back to Australia, nothing. Like he's going to show up and run his race, continue to get better, because that's what he does. Love SVG top 10 this week at 16-1.
I do too, and that Gilliland one, that was fantastic. I was cheering for him all race long, and it was so good to see him in the top 10, because I love it when the announcers are like, oh, and then look at here, there's Todd Gilliland. I'm like, yeah, there's Todd Gilliland, buddy. Listen to the show. You would have heard me say
Told you
that.
it was going to happen. Come on.
Jesus, you guys. All right, speaking of top 10 hits at close to 9-1, I'm going to take Daniel Suarez in this race. Top 10, 8-1 over on ESPN. About to say adios to the 99 team. Move over to Trackhouse. No, he's going to move over from Trackhouse to his new team over there, Inspire. Look at Daniel Suarez has been one of the most embattled folks that we could ever give out on a week-to-week basis. He'll either do well for you or he won't. And I know that that's profound statement, but there's some drivers that will always do well for you, and there's some drivers that always won't do well for you. Daniel Suarez, one of those guys, almost like Joey Logano, one of the hardest guys to handicap in the garage. But Daniel Suarez does have 2 top 10 finishes on this track, one of them in the fall race of 2024, and then he's got a 9th place in the spring of 2021. Outside of that, 24th and 22nd in the fall of 2022 and spring of 2023. But 11th and 13th were his other 2 finishes that were just outside of the top 10 in the fall of 2023, an 11th place finish. In the spring of 2024, a 13th place finish. Didn't do well here in the spring 2023. My whole reasoning is this, right? Daniel Suarez, he's going to be, this is it. This is it for him. This is it for him at Trackhouse. And what better way to just sort of send yourself out than with a nice, solid top 10 run. My only suggestion to Daniel, just do not drive anywhere near your future teammate and you'll be fine. But Daniel Suarez, who's been close and run close to the top 10 on this track, I like 8-1. Again, this is more obviously of an odds thing as well. 8-1 for a driver that can get this done, right? I know this season hasn't been the greatest for him, but you can kind of say that about all of his seasons so far. They haven't been the absolute greatest, but he still managed to find his way close to the top 10 in Phoenix. And so I'm going to take his top 10 at 8-1, and I'm also going to take him to win Group 6 over on Hard Rock. And this group consists of 2 of his future teammates, or actually one of his future teammates, and the guy he's replacing. So McDowell is in this group, Gragson is in this group, and Haley is in this group. Overall, Daniel Suarez just has the best average finish out of all of these guys. Michael McDowell has an average finish of 20 here on this track, finishes of 27th, 31st. He did have a 9th and an 8th in 2024 and 2023, and also a 13th in 2023, but 25th and 27th outside of that. I mean, you look at what happened with Justin Haley. Justin Haley has an average finish of 26.6 on this track. No finish better than 17th in his career on this one. And then Noah Gragson, average finish of 19.8. He's got a 26th, a 12th, a 12th, and a 29th. So, but again, we also know that this Noah Gragson year has not been great, and he hasn't necessarily been settled in all that well into that 4 car as much as we expected him to be. So, I like him to be able to finish this in the best of all of these groups, or in the best of all these drivers. Like I said, it's a swan song for him, and we're going to call it good. I need to look up real quick, as I did not put the actual odds for the winner of that group. So Group 6 over there, Daniel Suarez plus 260 to win that group. So I'm going to take him top 10 at plus 800, and then to win the group at plus 260.
Yeah, I got no arguments really on this one. Stuart Freak checking in and saying he thinks Suarez will get wrecked or doesn't perform. Trackhouse gave up on him. Yeah, it could also be. So the thing with Suarez, and I actually had looked at him, I'm glad you put him on there because he's been pretty decent here. He's the original Trackhouse driver. He was their first guy. Like, I think, yes, we're moving on. It's come to an end for both of us, but I feel like that's not one of those bad breakups. I feel like it's more of a, hey, we had a great time together. This just isn't really working out anymore. Yeah, look at Connor Zilic. I mean, if I was Daniel Suarez, I'd be like, you can't pass up on him, really. I mean, you got to get him in this car, right? So, and he's got a good ride secured, all that stuff. So, I don't think that'll be too bad. But in which book was that group on?
Justin, that was on Hard Rock. So Group 6 on Hard Rock.
Okay. And then Richard was also saying he expected more from Spire this year. Great reason to listen to the off-season shows because I'm sitting on a massive ticket, Rod. They had Spire at 1.5 wins last season. Oh, my God. Can you believe they gave us that? I put so much money on the under, not even funny. And they didn't have any wins. So, yeah, that's love the off-season. It's so much fun. All right. moving on to, I've got a group for you as well. I'm going to go over to Bet365 for this group. Justin, talking to you, buddy. He goes by Chiefs fan, Rowdy Nation. He's got all kinds of names in the Discord. But I'm gonna do a little Rowdy Nation in this group. Group D over on Bet365. You can get one at Kyle Busch at plus 375. Win one for the Gipper here, Rod, the old guy. We're trying to give him some love. But this group is Tyler Reddick, who I've already made the case against. I don't think he's going to perform well here. Go back and listen to that head-to-head earlier, but he's not done well in the fall race when he's not in the championship floor. All the off-field distractions that are going on right now, right, or off-track distractions, however you want to look at it. He's also going against Alex Bowman, who you talked about not being really great here. 2 top 10s and 7 next-gen races at Phoenix. Don't love that for him. And Josh Berry, who just been out on down the stretch of the season, and that's not really been wrong. He did finish 4th place here in the spring, but if I recall right, was this race after Las Vegas or right? Either way, it was next to his Las Vegas, and things were kind of going well for him there. But been pretty atrocious outside of that. I mean, he finished 9th place here in the 9 car when he filled in for Chase Elliott, or 10th place rather in the 9 car. But otherwise, bad finishes here in the SHR cars. Just don't expect a ton from Barry this week. So yeah, give me Kyle Busch, the old man. 13th at Martinsville, 8th place at Las Vegas. The last 2, taking Talladega out of there. But I feel like he's shown a little bit down the stretch here. They've made the change at crew chief, even though this isn't his future guy. It's somebody different working with him. And you're giving him a full 60 minutes to tweak on the car. For a guy like Kyle Busch, that is invaluable. He is so good at making the adjustments, making the changes he needs, end the year strong, as Justin says. I think that he will. So, yeah, give me Kyle Busch in Group D over on Bet365, plus 375. And, again, that's over Tyler Reddick, Josh Berry, and Alex Bowman.
I mean, look, we might as well do this one more time just for old time's sake for 2025 and look forward to 2026 when he hopefully gets
I gotta finish making up that money I spent on his over wins this year, Rob.
Yeah, that was a pretty rough go. Well, I mean, listen, we got Guy, and that's all right. He'll pick it up in 2026, and we'll go for it. I mean, you want to talk about shook? That is 1,000%. But all right, I'm going to take a non-playoff driver to get inside of the top 3, who probably should have been a playoff driver, and that's Ryan Blaney. Top 3, 2-1 over on Hard Rock. I mean, how disappointed is this guy? You have it on your plate. You have the lead. You win to get in. You start from the back even. You start from like dead last in it. I know, right? I'm saying it's...
Breaking news. Ryan Sieg's in the 41 car for Phoenix. Oh, let's fucking go.
No Cole Custer,
I was so excited I couldn't... Well, no, in the Xfinity race.
Oh, okay.
I wish it was Cup, but no. Sorry, that just happened, so I couldn't not share the good news. Now you can get back to your bet.
Ryan Blaney, disappointed, not like Cody, who's super excited that he missed out on this. And for Ryan Blaney, top 3, I mean, if you just look at his finishes, right? He's got the best average finish in the next-gen era. 1 finish outside of the top 5 in his entire next-gen career here. 28th place finish in the spring. But we were also talking about how Ryan Blaney, not necessarily the greatest in the spring overall. But outside of that, 2nd in the spring of 2024, second in the fall of 2024, rather. Obviously, that's what got him the championship. 5th in the spring of 2024, 2nd in the fall of 2023, 2nd in the spring, 2nd in the fall of 2022, 4th in the spring. It's Ryan Blaney's track, man. This guy, 1,000% knows how to get around this. And now there's no playoff pressure. Now it's just Ryan Blaney in the 12. Go run your race. Go prove that you should have been in this altogether, right? And I think that he can get it done. And if he's going to swing hard at this one, 2-1 for a top 3. I looked at his top 5, but I really do think top 3 is a really good landing spot for him, just given the fact that that's where he's been. 4 times in the next gen, 4 out of 6 times or 7 times in the next gen era. He has been the 2nd place driver. And that's regardless of what's going on around him. So I just feel like there's a level of pride that you take when you hit, when you suffer a hit like Ryan Blaney did last week, right? He just ran the race of his freaking life. It was such a tough race starting from where he started from. Imagine if he started toward the front. Maybe he could have had a better position. Maybe he could have made some more changes. Maybe he could have, whatever, right? But all of that's behind him now, and all that's ahead is Phoenix, and all that's ahead is proving that he belongs. He was on the cusp of being a Championship 4 driver. That does not go away overnight, right? If he would have beaten William Byron, he'd have been in the 4. This top 3 bet would have been nuked to all get out. But he's not, and that's fine. He's still the same driver. He's still in the same car. He's still the same capabilities. At 2-1, I like this.
Yeah, see, and the chat kind of tore on this as well. Justin saying not being in the championship race, how focused do you think the team is? Laura says it's a revenge race. Hunter saying he's got to be punching the air after Byron took him for the lead. But I tried that last year with Christopher Bell because I thought, remember, NASCAR ruled essentially, oh, you're out, revenge race, great here, laid a big fat fucking egg, and it just didn't work. I think that the defeat angle or the you've got to be so down about this angle might be stronger than the revenge. We got to go get one. Yeah, if you come out and win this race, great, fine. Nobody's going to care because they're going to be focused on the championship drivers. I think the championship 4 finished 1, 2, 3, 4. That doesn't leave any space for Ryan Blaney. So I know he's been really good here, and I know even in his non-playoff year, he still finished in the top 4, so I will give you credit for that. I don't know. I just don't. I think in this loaded playoff 4, and I mentioned this in the Discord, I think that this is going to be a race where we're like, holy shit, did NASCAR give these 4 cars an extra something because they are just clearly the show? And I wouldn't put it past them because I think that that's going to be the case.
Well, they'll just finish 1, 2, 4, 5. That's where they'll finish. So you'll cash your top 5 bet, and Ryan Blaney will sneak into the top 3.
Well, hey, that's a good way to look at it.
Indeed. All right, Cody, where are we going next?
Shout out to my buddy James. He wants justice for Sam Mayer, and then said he's just kidding. And I did too until I found out Ryan Sieg was driving the car. Now I am very happy. So, all right. Well, final race of the season. Got to go back to some of the old regulars. Some of the things we just love to bet on all season. And that's the top manufacturer market. I don't think there's any value in Toyota because I think it's going to be Briscoe or Hamlin, and they're very short. I don't think there's any value in Chevy because I think it's going to be Larson or Byron, and they're both very short. So I'm not even going to mess with those markets because I don't think there's much room, even if one of those two guys in both sides has a bad day. The other one's going to be there to take it. Top Ford, though, maybe Ryan Blaney does come out and lay an egg. Joey Logano, yeah, he's been good at Phoenix, but you never know what you're going to get from him on a week-to-week basis. So we're going to shoot our shot. Zane Smith is 66-1. Yes, please. Finish 9th place here in the spring, as I mentioned before. Been solid down the stretch. Talked about him a little bit ago for the top 10. 66-1. Again, you look at the Fords and Blaney coming off of a big disappointment, right? What are they going to do? I don't know. And this was their chance. They won 3 championships in a row at Penske. This is the last time it's going to be Phoenix for the last race of the season. Probably the last time we have the one race format. Jordan Bianchi mentioned this over on Door Bumper Clear, but it's probably time to think about overhauling everything at Penske. Like, if you're going to compete with Joe Gibbs and Hendrick going forward with a new format, they got to figure some stuff out. So there might already be big changes going on over there. I don't know. So I'm just, again, looking at that Ford camp, you got him. Joey Logano could finish first, could run with Cody Ware all day. You never know what you're getting out of the guy. The RFK camp, Buescher's been disappointing. Priest should be decent. Keselowski, flip a coin. Where's he going to be? So I think you take the long shots. Zane Smith, 66-1, 9th place here in the spring. And then Gilly Gang coming back for one more, coming off a top 10 run last week that you called out. Shout out to you for that. 17th here in the spring, 20th, 17th in his last 3 races here. So top 20 has been mixing it up somewhat. The 9th place at Martinsville, 2nd place at Talladega, a couple of good runs. He has 6 top 21 finishes in a row. That's kind of a weird way to couch that stat, but he's been running top half of the field essentially for 6 races in a row. So he's been doing pretty good. I like to see that. 5 top 10s this year, 12 top 15 finishes this season. So he's been putting himself up in the conversation. Again, you got 2 Chevys, 2 Toyotas taking up those first 4 spots. Maybe you got a Bell in there, some other guys. You might not have to finish barely top 10 to be the top finishing Ford at the end of the day. So Zane Smith, 66-1 one more time. And Gilly Gang, let's rally 100-1. I think that was over on Bet365 where I saw that one.
I mean, it's your last chance to give out all these fun little underdogs, and these long shots. So you got to take it.
Ford. Is that not what I said?
No, you did. He was correcting himself.
Himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, speaking of last time to give out a bet. It's my last chance to give out a car winning bet because it's the last race of the season. So I will end it strong. How about winning car number under 15.5 minus 105 over on ESPN Bet? Well, you get Larson, you get Hamlin right now. That's already two of the four drivers that are out there and two of the ones that probably should end up winning this race. You got Ross Chastain, who's played spoiler already. You got Austin Cindric, who I talked about earlier. You get Kyle Busch, who could just jump out and say, you know what, I'm still alive. I'm going to win this race. He probably won't. But then you get Chase Elliott, and you also get Ryan Blaney, like we said before, on this one as well. So some heavy hitters under this number. Yeah, you don't get Byron, and yeah, you don't get Briscoe. But really, outside of that, on the other side of this, I mean, 15.5, yeah, okay, you get Buescher, but you also get Briscoe, you get Bell, and then you get Logano, but it's an odd year Logano. We're there now. But outside of that, like, there's nobody else that scares you.
Logano's never made the championship 4 in an odd year.
Isn't that weird?
Never. And he's made it every single even year.
It's just weird.
Insane.
That's uncanny.
It's insane.
Yeah. So, yeah, again, unless you're going to just place the outright bets on Byron, and maybe if you want to do that shotgun unit where like Phil likes to do on some of these, and put something on the guys that aren't there, Bell maybe, and then, you know, whoever else you want to throw in that mix. But, yeah, outside of that, it's not really that scary. But the under's got a lot of power packed underneath it. So give me under 15.5 for the winning car number at minus 105. It's the underdog, actually, on ESPN.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting two of the playoff guys, so I like your chances there. And essentially, again, if this is going to go the way of having these four guys be the top four in any way, shape, or order, getting plus money on anything, one of them head-to-head against the other, any of those types of things, or in this case, you know, getting the much shorter side on the number side of things, I think you take it. And then you've got two guys to root for, right? Now you got Denny Hamlin, who's been hot. He's had the most time to prepare, just missing that championship, all the feel-good stories, everything. Maybe NASCAR reaches a settlement on Saturday. He wins the championship on Sunday. Who knows? And you get Kyle Larson. Yes, he's Captain Shook, but still one of the best drivers in the entire world, if not the best driver.
Well, then, let's talk about who's actually going to win this race, Cody. Who do we have on our cards to win?
Yeah, so I know Justin had asked this question a little bit ago in the chat, but it is notable to bring up, right? You can bet on the championship winner, and make sure you know what you're betting on, because these can be confusing. So you can bet on the championship winner, and that would be the guy who wins the championship, right? So if Ryan Blaney wins the race, or Christopher Bell, or Ross Chastain, or whoever wins the race, you know, and Denny Hamlin or Kyle Larson or any of these guys finish second, they would be the champion. So obviously those lines are going to be shorter. And then this is titled the NASCAR Cup Series Championship Race, that you can bet on them to win the race. So I think personally that you're going to have to win the race to win the championship. That has been the case in this format in every Final Four race, with the exception of Chastain winning in 2023 when Ryan Blaney finished second place, winning the championship. So go into it however you want to. You're obviously going to get a better number betting them to win the race. I will say I am heavily invested in Chase Briscoe to win this championship. I've got 20-1s. I've got plus 950s. I've got plus 750s. I have got a lot of different Chase Briscoe tickets. So I will be rooting for Chase Briscoe. And if you don't have Chase Briscoe, I'm going to give him the honorary mention. I think that he's my second pick in this. And I should look. I'll get to find it exactly here in a minute. But I think it's finally time, Rod. I think that Denny Hamlin's been around in the sport for a long time. I think that he's won 3 Daytona 500s. He's won 60 races. He finally reached that mark now. He's put a time on it, right? He's got 2 more seasons after this. It's coming near the end of things. He just became a father again. He's got 3 beautiful kids now. He just got married this season to his longtime partner there. His dad's not doing well, and he's been very, not completely open about what's going on or whatever, but open with the fact that his dad isn't doing well. You saw the emotions at Las Vegas. He got out a different driver. It wasn't the, I just beat your favorite driver, Denny. It wasn't the soaking up the booze, Denny. The tears were pouring. The emotions were there. This means a lot to him. He's got to this point. And I think He's not been in the championship 4 since 2021. It's been a long time in the old car. But now we're in this new car. He's gotten things figured out. You've now given him, like Joey Logano had last year, 3 weeks. He won Las Vegas 3 weeks ago. He's been doing nothing but preparing for Phoenix since then. You're giving me one of the best, longest-running drivers in the sport that understands the data, understands how to do things. All he's been doing is getting ready for this race. Then you're going to give him a 60-minute practice session, qualifying. He finished second place here in the spring. He won a Gateway. He won a Martinsville earlier this year. It's Denny Hamlin's time. I think Denny Hamlin is the 2025. Oh, boy. I think Denny Hamlin is the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series championship. I think this is his last big chance to win it. I think he knows that. Who knows what these next 2 seasons bring? Who knows when in Father Time catches up to him? This is his chance to win a championship while his dad is here to see him do it. I think he gets it done. I think it's the perfect storybook ending. I think they settled the lawsuit with NASCAR. He's a owner in the series for the next 40 years with Michael Jordan, and everybody sings Kumbaya. You can get him over on DraftKings at 4-1 to win the race. So I will be taking that. You can also find him just about everywhere at 2-1 to win the championship. If you would like to go that route, take either, take both. Denny Hamlin, 2025 NASCAR Cup Series champion for me.
If I were a successful Hollywood scriptwriter, that is exactly the type of story that I would draw up, and essentially that is exactly how I would end it, because you got to end it like that, right? If you wrote a script and you had this entire season laid out and the arc of the story and all of the stuff you could put together with the lawsuit, with everything you just talked about, right? All of those plot points, all of that tension that you're building out through the season, if you didn't give Denny the championship at the end of this year, you would be fired and you would never write a movie again, because that is the satisfying ending. I will say, however, as much as I agree with you on the way that it should end, this is not a Hollywood script, and it doesn't always end the way it's supposed to end. So I will give you the alternate story where Kyle Larson plays the spoiler. Captain Shook becomes unshook. Here's what I have to say, okay? Because we've talked about this and we've had our fun at the expense of Kyle Larson all season long. But let me tell you what shook means for a driver like Kyle Larson. Shook for Kyle Larson means 60% of the races that in a grueling season in which they have had no time off, 60% of the time he still finishes inside of the top 10. That is a staggering number of top 10 finishes for a driver in a season. 14 of those, 40% of the time, he finishes inside of the top 5. He's won 3 races this year where there are several drivers, more than half of the drivers on this circuit have not even won 1 race. So he's only not finished 2 races all season long. I cannot tell you that this is, we say shook, but by all rights and accounts, what the hell, man? I mean, there are drivers in this that would love to be shook like Kyle Larson is shook. So, with that being said, I am going to take Kyle Larson to win this race, because if it's not Denny Hamlin, the spoiler, the villain in this story is Kyle Larson at plus 450. I'm also going to take him to win the championship at plus 275, because if he wins this race, then he's going to win the championship on top of that as well, a lot like what Cody said. So we're definitely taking that along with it. It's not going to be easy. There are probably going to be points in this race where you're going to look at Kyle Larson and go, I wouldn't really going to put my trust in him. But like Cody said, these guys are all going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 into this. And so if they're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 in this, Kyle Larson stands just as much of a chance to actually win this race than also, than does anybody else in that one. So Kyle Larson plus 450, and I just made Cody go away. If you're watching YouTube, I really made Cody just disappear, much like his talk about Carson Hocevar made me disappear. But Kyle Larson plus 450, best number for him. You can find it all over the place. I'm also going to take Ryan Blaney at plus 750, or I'm sorry, plus 700 to win the race over on Hard Rock. I told you I didn't
leave the stream on purpose, Rod. That was big gambling, big betting. They were coming in. They didn't want me to tell you about Captain Shook. They wanted to take your money. And so they silenced me by taking me out of the stream. So I could not rebuff your point on Kyle Larson. I was going to ask real quick, though, how many wins has he had since the Indianapolis 500 attempt?
About as many as your microphone has being on the wrong microphone, and that's none. You joined back up. See, look you can't even come at me with an argument that makes any sense because your microphone's all done.
Sound better now. He's been shook. He's been shook, Rod.
It's fine. I get it. But shook again, what? Like I said, did you not hear me talk about shook? Like if shook is look at
how can you've done it and everybody's done it, right? Oh, he's so good at Bristol. Oh, he's so good at Kansas. Oh, he's so good everywhere. He made a deal with the devil right in this very moment if you're looking at the YouTube. He gave the thumbs up when Scotty Mack wrecked out on the first lap, on the warm-up laps of the Indianapolis 500, and he became Captain Shook. And he just can't finish it off with a championship. So,
well, like I said, I'm with you on Denny, but you took Denny, so I had to pick another one. And of the four, the only other one I can think of to win is Captain Shook. So
it was Chase Briscoe, but no.
Okay. Well, we also wanted Briscoe as well, but I didn't want to double check that. So all right, and then like I said, Ryan Blaney has got a lot to prove. So him at 7-1 on Hard Rock is the best number I found there. I like it. All right, that is the betting card.
I have one more bet that I would like to place here.
What's
if
that?
I could do so. And that would be the exacta of Denny Hamlin finishing in first, Chase Briscoe finishing in second. 14-1 over on the Caesars.
That's a fun one. Man, I came so close to that top 10. If Wallace would have had a better race, we'd have been swimming in that one because Gilliland got there for us. And, Briscoe, obviously, and Hamlin kind of ruined it for us as well. But I felt pretty good about that exacta for a little while, that top 10 exacta that I threw out there last.
Most of those guys were running up there, were near there, until obviously the JGR cars had problems, and then it was an issue. But like Justin says, it has been a fun ride with Briscoe. Fading him to start the season made us a ton of money, and then just hardcore hitting it here lately, just making a tons of money on him. You love it.
Indeed. All right, get out your pen and paper. One last time for the Cup Series. It's time to go over our bets for this NASCAR Cup Series championship race. In Phoenix, Cody started you off with Ross Chastain over Tyler Reddick at plus 130. He also tossed in Chase Briscoe over Kyle Larson at plus 125. I gave you Austin Cindric over Carson Hocevar at even money. Over on Caesars, Cody tossed in Denny Hamlin as a top 5 at minus 130. Chase Briscoe as a top 5 at plus 125. Took the championship for top 5 parlay at plus 996. Of course, that incorporates all playoff drivers, including Hamlin, Larson, Briscoe, and Byron inside of the top 5. And then I gave you Chris Buescher to win Group C over on Caesars at plus 275 over Alex Bowman, Ty Gibbs, and Brad Keselowski. Cody gave you Zane Smith, top 10, 10-1 over on Fanatics. SVG, top 10 at 16-1 over on Fanatics as well. I said that Daniel Suarez would be a top 10 car at 8-1 on ESPN, and he would also win Group 6 at plus 260 over on Hard Rock over McDriver, Gragson, and Haley. Cody gave you Kyle Busch to win Group D over on Bet365 at plus 375 over Tyler Reddick, Josh Berry, and Alex Bowman. I said Ryan Blaney would be a top 3 car at 2-1 over on Hard Rock. Cody said Zane Smith would finish as the top Ford at 66-1, and then Todd Gilliland as the top Ford at 100-1 over on 365. I said load up your winning car number bets under 15.5, minus 105 over on ESPN. Cody is giving Dennis Hamlin the long-awaited championship trophy, the satisfying end to the script. Over at plus 400 over on DK. Yes, you just flipped yourself over. And then to win the championship because he won the race at 2-1. He's also giving out the Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe exacta at 14-1. I'm rolling the dice. Kyle Larson plus 450, unshaking himself completely for the season. Plus 450 to win the race, plus 275 to win the championship. And then Ryan Blaney to steal the show at 7-1 on Hard Rock to win the race.
Yeah, I'm now Captain Shook because of Captain Shook. Yeah.
It happens.
My shit was all fucked. My microphone was messed up. My camera was messed up. They were trying to stop me from telling you about a great way to not bet on Kyle Larson.
Hey, careful, man. That's contagious. Don't get that on me. I don't need any of your shookness on me. I'm good.
Well, Rod, it's been a lot of fun. Do we did you officially find out if Sunday worked for you? Should we announce that or should we wait?
Yeah, Sunday should work for us. Yeah, I think we're good.
So the plan, you should be subscribed to the YouTube over at NASCAR Gambling Podcast. The plan is around 25 laps to go or so in the championship race. Rod and I are hoping to jump on live, react to the final 25 laps. We'll have to sync up our devices to make sure we're watching the same timing on the feed. But and react to the final bit of the racing, and then we'll be there to have a live recap essentially as the race ends, as the champion's crowned, and all that fun stuff, recapping the race and all that stuff. So looking forward to that. The next couple of days, we've got a full Truck Series betting episode, championship race preview, a full Xfinity Series championship preview betting episode, DFS show as normal. Pretty excited for the rest of the week. And then come back, right? Make sure you subscribe. Make sure we're in your feed. We'll be here all off season talking. We're going to go in depth on the F1 stuff the next couple of weeks. Got 3 races left with them, and it's actually pretty exciting championship battle over there shaping up. Not compared to the seasons we had the F1 Gambling Podcast where it was kind of boring. But yeah, it's been great over there. Going to have a lot of fun diving into that and tons of off season stuff. Championship odds are usually up about a week or so out of the championship race. We'll see with the format updates where that kind of puts us at with getting those, but we'll have all kinds of stuff during the off season. So don't go anywhere, but it's been a hell of a season, been a fun ride, and let's cash one more time in the Cup Series here in Phoenix.
No shortage of fun stuff to talk about over the course of the off season, but yeah, definitely make sure you make room for us this week as we give you full episodes and full DFS episode as well at the end of the week. All right, Cody. Well then, let's send everybody out to start filling out their card before all these odds get hammered down. Apologies to all the other shows for making the odds weaker as the week goes on, but that's just the way we roll. But all right, Cody, let everyone know where they can find you outside of this space.
Yeah, follow me over on the X at Husker_Zeb. You can find all my stuff there, college football stuff, NFL stuff, all kinds of other fun stuff. Having a good time as always, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yes, follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. There's all kinds of great stuff going on my Twitter lately. I've been putting some fun little thoughts during watching football games and, all this stuff. JDK saying it's sad that the last time we'll talk about Captain Shook.
Or is it?
That's what I'm waiting for on that.
There's your cliffhanger for the next season.
All right, everybody. Well, like I said, we'll be back tomorrow with whatever we can get, whether it's truck, whether it's Xfinity. Hopefully it's trucks. But, the rest of the week is going to be fun. Join us for all of that. Until then, everybody, we'll see you tomorrow. Let's go racing and let it ride.